Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got a very sad story that actually took place in Dalton, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, that actually happened on May 21st, which is actually my father's birthday. But this story is encapsulated around mental health issues, domestic violence, um, making the wrong decision, not able to deal with conflict, conflict mediation, conflict resolution in a positive way. And this story tragically ended very badly. But for police officers, a domestic disturbance is probably the toughest call for them to make. They do not know what they're walking into. I did a previous story a few days ago that happened a week ago, about 10 days ago, in Fairview Heights, Illinois, where 3 police officers went to a domestic potential violence or assault call, and this young man, who was 22 years old, allegedly shot 3 Fairview Heights officers. So domestic violence is a very real thing. It happens every day. People that are in unsafe situations need to reach out to family, friends, law enforcement, and need to get out of that situation. And in this story, that did not happen. And unfortunately, it ended with 3 people losing their lives. So let's get into this one. And this also is encapsulated around poor decision making. Atlanta man kills wife and girlfriend before turning the gun on himself, Dalton police say. Dalton police have identified the victims of 2 fatal shootings at separate residences that investigators believe are connected in a tragic murder-suicide case. So what do we know? Authorities say 37-year-old Kevin Andrew Akins of Dalton is suspected of fatally shooting his wife, 35-year-old Rebecca Nicole Akins, at her apartment at 1320 Murray Avenue during the early morning hours of Wednesday, May 21st. Police say Akins then drove to another apartment. This Kevin Akins guy drove to another apartment at 1805 Shadow Lane, where he shot and killed his girlfriend, 33-year-old Cindale May Roden, before turning the gun on himself. Now, before I go any further, now listen to the ages of these individuals. Mr. Kevin Akins is 37. His wife, Rebecca, was 35. And then his girlfriend, Cindale Roden, was 33. All of these people are right in the prime of their lives. And for him to go to his wife's apartment and to his girlfriend's apartment, it doesn't sound like he was living with either one of them. But he's maintaining these relationships with both of these women. Here we go with poor decision making. Officers were first called to Rebecca Akins' residence around 6 p.m. May 23rd, after co-workers reported she had not been seen or heard from in several days. When no one responded at the door, apartment staff allowed officers to enter, where they discovered Rebecca Akins deceased from an apparent gunshot wound to the head. The level of inhumanity in today's society is just outrageous. Detectives launched an immediate investigation and reviewed surveillance footage showing Kevin Akins leaving the Murray Avenue apartment around 6 a.m. on May 21st. Later that evening, investigators tracked Mr. Akins' vehicle to the Shadow Lane apartment complex. As officers awaited for a search warrant during the early morning or hours of Saturday, they observed a man, later identified as Roden's father. This is Sindel Roden's father, who arrived and used a key to enter the apartment. The man exited the apartment moments later and called 911, reporting that he had found his daughter and another man dead inside. So this is Sindel Roden's father, who goes to his daughter's apartment and he finds his daughter deceased and another man deceased. It couldn't get any worse than that. You're talking about, as a parent, to find your child dead and a victim of a homicide. That is the worst nightmare you could ever think of. Police say evidence indicates that Mr. Kevin Akins shot and killed Miss Roden before dying by suicide. According to a GoFundMe account for Sindel Roden, she was the mother of 2 young daughters and was 5 months pregnant when she was shot and killed. So not only is she the mother of 2 children, she was also 5 months pregnant. And there have not been details yet on if Mr. Kevin Akins was the father of Mrs. Roden's unborn child. The presumption or the assumption would be maybe he probably was, if he's having this liaison with Miss Roden, as she was his supposed girlfriend. So, and it doesn't give details if the fetus or the baby that was inside Miss Roden made it or not. Remember, she's 5 months pregnant, so the trauma from the mother getting shot and killed probably lowers the chances for the unborn child to make it. So there could possibly have been another person. That 5-month-old unborn child is still a person. So this Kevin Akins, 37 years old, shoots his wife, kills her, shot her in the head, shoots Ms. Roden, kills her, then kills himself, and then we're not completely sure what happened to Mrs. Roden's unborn child. So what are they saying? Vicky Tinsley lives at the Murray Avenue Apartments, just a couple of doors down from where the first murder was committed. That's where his wife was. She saw the police respond Friday night. She said, I just really didn't know what was going on. I saw the yellow tape, and then I saw them towing her car. And it kind of scared me at first because I thought someone did get killed or someone broke into the apartment. Tinsley was shocked to learn that her neighbor had been killed by her husband. She said, well, it's kind of scary. Yeah, it really is. Tinsley and other neighbors told Fox 5 on Saturday that the area is typically very calm and they're not used to seeing homicide investigations. She said it's very quiet out here, and to have somebody kill somebody and then go kill somebody else and then kill themselves, it's like, okay, I'm going to lock my door now from now on, Tinsley said. Tinsley says she didn't know her neighbor very well. They would just occasionally exchange greetings. She said, but it was hard to see her. But she said it was hard for her to see her neighbor's family be so heartbroken. She said a gentleman said, I saw, Miss Tinsley said she saw the uncle because he said that was my niece, and he was very upset at what took place. And what don't we know? Well, it's not clear what led to the devastating series of events. So I thought I would do a video on this particular unfortunate story because, again, we're living in times where the level of inhumane treatment that we are doing to each other, the level of inhumanity is at a premium. These individuals were in the early and mid 30s. Uh, what is this a byproduct of? Is this a byproduct of fatherless homes? Is this a byproduct of the opioid crisis? Is this a byproduct? And when I say fatherless homes, I'm saying this gentleman to make such a callous decision to take these young ladies' lives, it makes me believe that he did not come from a scenario or come from a stable home environment to make such a terrible decision. He was not a kid, 37 years old. You are well aware and have had enough experiences in life to know the difference between a good and a bad decision. And for him to make the final and ultimate decision to take these young ladies' lives and then take his own life shows me that there was a level of immaturity, there was a level of mental illness, there was a level of not taking full responsibility for the world that you created in your life, having this wife and this girlfriend who was pregnant. Uh, Many people live their lives very vicariously and are not willing to accept the responsibilities that come along with when you make a grown man decision or a grown man choice. There are grown man decisions and repercussions that come with it. You're not a child. We're not children anymore. And you have a lot of scenarios where people are not thinking through the choices and decisions that they're making on a daily basis and realizing that there are consequences to those choices and decisions. And for him to create this atmosphere uh, with these two women and then decide that the ultimate and the best decision for him was to commit murder uh, shows that he was not appropriated to be an adult in this crazy, chaotic world that we live in. Now you have three families that are suffering the loss of loved ones, and it is a very unfortunate circumstance. And where do these families go from here? Homicides, murders that are being bestowed upon in any of our families is one of the worst kinds of scenarios that you would ever want to be in. Of course, if you're a father and you have that happen to your daughter, that would be extremely devastating. As a father, you want to be a protector. Even if you're the parents of the 37-year-old Mr. Kevin Akins, uh, there's a certain helplessness and hopelessness and looking in the mirror and thinking, where did I go wrong as a parent for my son, Kevin Akins? If this is a mother or father saying to themselves, what did we do wrong in raising this young man to decide at 37 years old that he was going to commit this horrific crime scene at two different locations by two different women that he was involved with. We got to wake up, America. We're leading our young people in the wrong direction, or have led our young people in the wrong direction. Here again, not having mentorship, discipline, making people accountable for their decisions that they make. That all those things need to be started when they are children. Many of these people today are growing up where they have not had to make hard choices, uh, navigate themselves through rough times, and when it does slap them in the face, or these tough decisions are sitting in their lap, they are making poor choices and poor decisions on how to navigate through this crazy, wonderful world we live in. This is happening way too many times. And domestic violence, assaults, Homicides, the opioid crisis is not based on a zip code, race, creed, gender. This can happen anywhere to anybody at any time. And as you heard in this story, the one young lady who was a neighbor to Mrs. Akins said that there was hardly ever any time when they had any kind of police presence in their neighborhood. So the presumption is that it probably was in a suburb. Dalton is a suburb of Atlanta, and people have a tendency to turn a blind eye, leave their doors open, and think that they live in this wonderful utopian world. But here again, assaults, murders, homicides, the opioid crisis, homelessness can happen any and everywhere. None of us are ever completely safe. And if you're in a domestic violence situation, there are hotlines, there are resources and services that you can contact alongside with your family members and, of course, law enforcement. So if you are listening to this video and you know somebody, or you have been in that are in that kind of domestic violence situation, please reach out to the resources that are available to you in each and every city and state. This is a sad commentary, but I thought I would bring it to everyone's attention. Life is tough. Keep your head on the swivel. Check on your neighbors, along with checking on your coworkers and your family members. We need to live in a safe, ethical, moral, and righteous, manifesting our truth in a right way kind of society. Tell me what you think of this story. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience.